Let us express, first of all, our appreciation, sir, for the warm welcome we have received this morning and for graciously agreeing to accommodate us today for this exercise. We are extremely grateful. We don't take it for granted that you had to adjust your timetable to accommodate us today. We don't take it for granted. We are very, very grateful, sir, for that. We also want to express our deep appreciation for all the support we have received from this committee. It has made us better as a ministry. It has made us, we have sat up where we need to sit up as a ministry too. And the kind of support we have received from the chairman in the last 1 year has been tremendous. We really, really want to place that on record, our appreciation for the support and very robust oversight that we have received in the last 1 year. So myself and my team, sir, we are here just to say thank you, sir. For the 2024 budget performance summary, sir, it is subdivided into the capital appropriation, the personnel appropriation, overhead appropriation. For the capital appropriation, sir, in 2024, it was 38 billion, 338 million, 916,033 naira. The actual releases out of that, actual releases, cash releases, was 11 billion, 540 million, 112,956 naira 40 kobo, sir. Out of that, the utilization was about 98% utilization from the releases, sir. And that's 11, sir. The 2024 budget performance. It's a summary of the 2024 budget performance, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, we said releases first, sir. We said releases.
Releases 11 points. Utilization 11 points, 5. Ireti, percentage utilization 30.9.
Yeah, I first mentioned releases, sir. I did mention releases before I went to utilization, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, go back to your.
Okay, sir. So after the capital appropriation, the releases, sir. Can I go on, sir?
Yeah, go on.
The releases, sir, was 11 billion, 540 million, 112,956 naira 40 kobo, sir. Then out of the releases, sir, the actual utilization, sir, that's where I am, sir. It's about 98 or thereabout percent, which is about 11 billion, 534 million, 271,427 naira 94 kobo, sir. And the percentage of utilization, it's about 30.9%, sir. That is for the capital appropriation, sir. For the personnel appropriation, sir, the total personnel appropriation was 1,009,378,928 naira 22 kobo, sir. The actual releases, sir, for personnel appropriation, out of the personnel appropriation, was 1,009,378,918 naira 22 kobo, sir. The utilization, sir, was 100% of the releases. So the same figure, just 100%. Sir, the overhead appropriation, sir. The total overhead appropriation was 520,351,934 naira, sir. The releases in that respect was almost 100%, 99 point something to 9%. That's 520,351,933 naira 87 kobo, sir. Then the utilization, sir, was 520,172,307 naira 44 kobo. And like I mentioned, the utilization is about 99.97%, sir. We actually made a note there, by the grace of the National Assembly, extended the 2023 budgets. At some point, it ran concurrently with the 2024 budget till about 31st of December 2024. Just like we have also received, graciously received the extension from the National Assembly of the 2024 budget to run till I think June 2025. That was the same situation we had in 2024. That is for the 2024 budget performance summary. I will wait for the directive before I go to the 2025. Airports, the details I have regarding the power project in Abuja Airport, they call the IPP project. It was something that we inherited from the last minister, last administration. And there's a contract running. I think it's a contract for 7 years or so. Yep. It's a contract for 7 years running for an independent contractor to provide power. Because, you know, Lagos and Abuja, they have to run on 24 hours because they are our gateway. So whether they are airports, whether they are landing or not. In fact, there was a presidential directive under Yaradua. And I think the MD firm brought it up to me recently to say, is this still sustainable? But I think there was a problem that happened under Yaradua. I'm not too sure when the president tried to land at night and the lights went off. Or so, I can't remember the facts. But after that, there was a clear presidential directive to ensure that for Lagos, Abuja, you run 24 hours, whether planes are landing or not, because it's a security issue for the gateways of the nation. So since then, before we came, 3-4 administrations for us, they run 24 hours, those two major airports. You know, they are our star airports. So because of that, there was a contract under the last government for an IPP to provide power for Abuja Airport in particular. And that runs into some figure. The figures are not here, but they submit their payments once in a while, periodically, for us to pay them. And that is for Abuja. Yes.
But I've taken my time to count it line by line. You have a total of 124 projects. As the senior advocate of Nigeria, learned man, the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, upon assumption of office till date, have you been able to complete some of these projects? If not, how many have been completed? How many are ongoing? And how many are being carried over to 2025 budget? Now, going to the number 3 in the list, the construction of control tower and technical building at Enugu Airport, which happens to be my own airport. This project was appropriated for in 2013, and the total sum of 1.9 billion was earmarked for this project. 75 million has been released as of today. Can you tell Nigerians the state of that project? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, that's part of what we will bring together on.
With 2025 budget?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what within 1 week.
It's okay.
Within 1 week? Yeah, we have been given 1 week to produce it.
Okay, okay, by the chairman.
But we have a committee on that in the ministry.
I'll be waiting.
That went round.
I'll be waiting.
To also give you, maybe it's over information, but let me also give you information on the report. The state government state government, representing state government, has actually been speaking with us in the last 1 year. And I think they also approached Mr. President directly for the takeover of the airports, the Enugu state government, to manage it, complete it on a PPP basis between state and federal government. And he's been very serious about it, the governor. We saw his plan. Like he also went directly to Mr. President on it, just like two of the other governors, the Niger State government, including an airline. An airline is also coming along too. But it's something we would like to brief the committee separate on that, bring the documents on some of these, so you'll be well abreast on what is happening in terms of the PPPs we have with the state government. Enugu is one of them.
How competent is the state government to manage a federal airport? Because I know some states are building airports and handing over to federal government. How come federal government is relinquishing the airport back to state government? And how competent?
No, it's when they approach us. It's just for the running, not the building. Most of them who hand them over to us, maybe when they build it 80% complete, they cannot complete it, they hand them to us to run. But in most of these cases, these are fully developed airports. They have runways, they have terminal buildings and all that. It's just for the management of the airports that they come to us for. But like I said, there's always a business case when they come. These are, the devil is in the details. But it's a very good question you're asking, the capacity and the competence to run the airports. Normally they hire consultants to do that for them. It's not like it is a commissioner for transport that will now be running it. No, they normally hire competent consultants, the state government.
You say that the Minister of Aviation is being overwhelmed by the number of airports we have in.
No, we're not overwhelmed.
That's what I said.
No, when we get requests, not that we want, they come with this request to say for the sake of their people and their economy, they want to pay special attention to those airports for the sake of their local economy. So sometimes we look at their requests. And like I said, in the case of 2 or 3 airports, what we got was presidential directive. They didn't even come through us. We just got presidential directive directly to work. And the president approved. And we had to work with them. Yes.
Development of Aerospace University, Abuja. The truth of the matter, we always say we don't have money for lots of things. I don't see why we need an aerospace university. Abuja University is there badly funded. It could have an aerospace and aviation department there. There's a university built already in Abaji, not populated, not being used. It's there. Nothing is happening to it. What a private university is trying to build a school of aviation in Buari. So as a nation, we need to start learning how to consolidate our resources and work together in a cohesive manner, not working in silos. And that I really wonder why we need that, and maybe you are able to clarify it for me, because I don't understand why we need an aerospace university.
My name is Robert Dixon Taki. I represent Makodi Guma Federal Constituency. I'm from Benue State, Chairman, Constituency Outreach. I come into the issue that my distinguished colleague, Senator Ireti, has just raised about the aviation colleges that I think 6 that have been proposed. We know very well that Zaria has been underutilized, it is not funded properly. What is the reason for establishing 6 aviation schools? I think that if we are a very serious country, maybe 1 extra one will be okay. Or you fund Zaria very well. Zaria will take care of everything. As I sit down here, that's my captain sitting next to you. I flew with him as a cabin crew in the 90s. And he's a very good captain. Now, please, Honorable Minister, we can save those funds, you know, make sure that Zaria is properly working, and maybe set us just 1 extra school, maybe down in the south. That will take care of Nigeria aviation problem. Thank you very much.
By the past government. And so we just started it off because by the time we came in, the first intake was just going on, the first intake of the university. But it's just a specialized university for aviation and aerospace courses themselves. Since it's our primary mandate as aviation ministry, I thought that the rationale for the past government to have founded that university, it's about the first of that type in Africa too, is to ensure that they pay special attention to the development of aviation and aerospace courses, and not for us as a ministry to be subsumed in another general university and trying to appeal to them to develop courses in that respect. So I think it's just a matter of perspective as to whether we can be in complete control as an aviation ministry to develop the courses we think will develop the aviation ecosystem in Nigeria. But as a corollary to that, the other question is about the NCAT campuses. The same. Let me say, first of all, that Zaria has been a star for all of us. We've been very, very proud of Zaria. Zaria has been there since 1964, serving the entire country. And most of our pilots and the captains you see today pass through Zaria. So it's actually a pride for us. And it has received a lot of commendations from ICAO, a lot of certificates from all over the world. Right now, we are having problem of space in Zaria. To give you an update, sir, I'm sure you graciously approved it last year or the year before for us to buy an additional hotel in Zaria because we could not accommodate the students again in the main campus because of the burgeoning population of the school. So we had to now buy the Zaria Hotel. The Zaria Hotel is now an annex, even within Zaria, of that training college. And we expect the populations to even grow beyond that. So the question we ask ourselves is that, are we going to continue to buy houses in Zaria, within Zaria, to accommodate more population who are willing to come to the school? And if we are doing that, why not give other parts of this country the opportunity to also have access to those campuses too? Why continue to expand and buy private houses and hotels within one town in the country of 240 million people who want access to that? The same thing happened in the law school, sir. The law school, it was about the same time that Zaria was established in Kaduna, that the law school was established in Lagos. It was about 1960, 64, thereabout, that same period. But the law school has still grown beyond Lagos. The law school has campuses all over the country now for people to have easy access to law school. So it is one country, sir. The other people who they have campuses now, they have been, named. Boeing has one. I think or Yola has one, and on like that. They are extremely grateful to the federal government. They are happy that they now have easy access to training too, training facilities too. Yeah. So we cannot continue to expand only within Zaria. Other parts of this country should also have access to training facilities too. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Minister, we want to tell you that we have not started anything. And when you're talking of aviation today, aviation is always the gateway to any prosperous economy. And with what we are doing, we're just making some kind of makeshifts to our airports. We've been talking about second runway since when we came into the 9th Senate. That issue has been there. Honorable Minister, you know about it. Nothing is done. When you go elsewhere and see their airports, you know that they are standard airports. Even if they are small, you will see that at least they look international. In your own opinion, will you now believe or tell Nigerians that the airports that we have are befitting for an economy that we looked at becoming one of the 20 best economies in the world in the next few years? how can we, do without constructing new airports in this country? In my opinion, you should start thinking of constructing new airports in these 3 cities. And this can be turned to domestic airports. Our Abuja airport is not better than looking like a market in a rural area in countries like China. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Conversation I was praying should come up. There are 2-pronged issues there. The second runway and of course the general state of our airport. Well, when I appeared before this committee last year about the same time, I made a passionate appeal for provision for the construction of the second runway, sir. So you are not far from the truth, sir, that it is not right that a nation's capital should have only 1 runway. You are absolutely correct, sir. Lagos, we have 2 runways in Lagos, and even those runways, they need total rehabilitation. The MD Fund has been tremendous, has been very, very hardworking in trying to even maintain those 2 we have. One is right and one is, left. But they need total resurfacing because these runways have been there for a long time. So it's by the grace of God we are still using them. But they are still good, they are serviceable, but we need to improve them. But for Abuja, sir, this is one of the larger issues in Nigeria of not executing such projects on time. If you remember, sir, during Obasanjo's time, it was a very thorny issue with the National Assembly at that time. I think that time, if I remember correctly, 45 billion was allocated during Obasanjo's time under one particular budget, and there was a lot of back and forth rancor that it was, too much and all that and all that. And that project was stalled under Obasanjo. So on and on, 7th, 8th, 9th of them, nothing happened. Graciously, I think the 9th Assembly, there was a small provision and there was an actual release. The total sum, just to make it open, at that time was 90 billion. Yes, 90 in the 9th Assembly, 90 billion. And I think there was 70 billion actual, then 20 billion for contingency or whatever. 30 billion was actually released by the previous government. We didn't release that money for them to go to site. When we came, they could not go to site because of problems of villagers and all that. And we settled that problem. I was the one, together with the Minister of FCT, that worked very hard. The first 2 months, we settled, we removed them from site, and they moved to site, sir. Lo and behold, as I speak with you now, the contractors have left the site. They have done excavation work and some preliminary work. They said the 30 billion is gone. And the variation I have received, sir, unfortunately.
Did they pay compensation with the 30 billion or what?
Part of it. There was money inherent in the 30 billion to pay the Abuja settlers. So, but it was the contractors and part of the money that they paid. We made them pay from part of their contract sum because there was community engagement or so, I think, in the contract by the previous government. So it was their duty to pay it, and they paid. They made the money available to FCT, so they didn't pay directly. They made the money available to FCT, who is in charge, and FCT disbursed to each and every family on the land for them to live. But just to complete the story, sir. Now, okay, sir. You are up to speed on what's going on. They left the site, they've abandoned the site now, we are not going on, and the variation that the contractors are bringing is a variation I totally disagree with. As a responsible minister, I said, I will not go ahead with this type of variation. I will not go ahead with this kind of variation. The president himself does not like it. He sees this as an avenue for fraud. Mr. President does not like variations. He says so all the time on council. And I'm saying, the variation from 90 billion, they are proposing 532 billion. I will not accept it. The option I have is to cancel the contract. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't want to say, but the option I have now is that we have to invite fresh bids. because they cannot hold us to ransom. No contractor like that. It's a responsible contract. This is the committee oversighting us. They will chop my neck off if I come back and tell the committee that I approved how much. No, I will not. 500 from 90 billion to 532 billion within a space of 2 years to do the second runway, I will not accept it. So that is the state of the situation. We have 2 proposals on the table which I will take to Mr. President, and I'll consult my chairman on it for us to have even special funding, the PPPs. There are 2 other Chinese companies who say they can fund it with their own money, and for us to pay them back. Because we need the Southern Runway to be up and running, and I want it to be completed during the lifetime of this administration. It will be a credit to this committee that we've completed it. So we are considering various options. Unfortunately, I have to say it here, even before having a meeting with the contractors, but the option, sir, is that this country cannot go on with such unreasonable variations. For a set, how much do they build fresh airports for you to now do a variation of how much? 532. It would be unreasonable for us to accept that, sir. So that's the situation of it, sir. Yes.
Let me appeal to us now.
For the 2025 budget, sir, respectfully, sir, we have a proposal, sir, of capital of 69 billion, 220 million, and 36,000. I'll repeat, 69 billion, 220 million, 36,000, and 250 naira. That's for capital, sir. For personnel, sir, we have a figure of 1 billion personnel, 1 billion 157 million 589,143 naira. And for overhead, sir, we have a proposal of 745 million 742,676 naira, sir. And the total comes up to 71 billion 123 million 368,069 naira, sir. That's what we have, sir, for the 2025, sir. The details are contained in the documents already submitted, sir.
This project, we need those documents verified from the ministry.
Yes, sir.
If we don't have the breakdown and the status of those projects of the period going on that come from there, there's no way we can really appreciate.
Yes, sir.
What we are asking for in 2025.
Yes, sir.
So I will approach my colleagues and this level that we should suspend the calculation of 2025 budget until we receive the submission on that status project they have. 90% of the project they are talking about 2025 are all ongoing projects.
Yeah, the project is even ready. We didn't know we prepared it. We'll make copies. We'll make copies available.
Boko in Benue State. The one in Boko is for 500 million. The one in Anka is for 50 million. The difference is too much. We need you need to reconcile that when you're coming back with your documents.
It's a bigger one.
Then we also need to know when you're coming back, Honorable Minister, we need to know your total staff strength and your nominal role.
Okay, sir. We'll provide it. In the main ministry and the agencies?
Yes, the main ministry and agencies.
Okay, we'll do that, sir. We'll do that, sir.
Then,
well, we'll follow due process and having to do what we have to have a second runway. But as public officers, we must be very, very reasonable in the offices we occupy and in taking decisions that will affect the country. So it is something that will follow due process. to look at all the indices and all the options we have. We have to look at all the options we have going forward, but we'll follow due process in doing so.
From the legal point of view, you said nobody can hold Nigeria down among the two contractor or all these variations. Are you sure this company is involved?
No, it's not about talking about country, but from a legal point of view, once the terms of the contract change, and the terms change entirely, and you are negotiating for a new terms involving new amounts, it's a new contract. You are entitled to cancel. So long as it's not the terms of the earlier contract already, you are entitled to cancel. Nobody can hold you down to say, I have a contract, a letter of contract, so you must increase the money for me. What if somebody says, I can do it for the original amount, you don't have to increase it? What if somebody says so?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.